Have you ever felt your blood boiling, your heart pounding like a war drum, your hands shaking, your breath shallow when someone wronged you, insulted you, or simply disrespected you? In that moment, your mind screams, say something, do something, don't let them get away with this. And yet, a moment of patience in a moment of anger saves you 100 moments of regret. I learned this truth not from a book, not from a preacher, but from one of the darkest nights of my life. A night I almost threw away everything I had worked for, my career, my marriage, my very soul, because I let anger take control. And I want to tell you this story because perhaps, just perhaps, it might save you from the same pain. But before we dive into the depth of this journey, please subscribe to this channel. If you're someone who searches for wisdom that pierces the soul, for lessons that can save your life in the most unexpected moments, you belong here. Click subscribe, turn on notifications, because what you're about to hear may very well change the way you handle your anger forever. It started on a stormy Thursday evening. I was exhausted. Work had been brutal that week, deadlines piling up like an avalanche ready to crush me. And then came the message. My business partner, someone I had trusted for years, sent an email that would ignite a firestorm within me. He accused me, falsely, of mismanaging funds. Me, the one who had built the foundation of our company with my own hands. He not only questioned my integrity, but he copied the entire board, making sure my humiliation was public. The rage, oh, it was blinding. I stared at the email, my fingers trembling over the keyboard. I was ready to unleash fury, to expose his lies, to ruin him, to strip him of any ounce of dignity he had left. My reply would scorch him, and I had every right to do so, or so I thought. But then something miraculous happened. As my hands hovered over the keyboard, my phone buzzed. A message from my wife, simple, almost irrelevant. Dinner's ready when you are. Love you. In that tiny, almost invisible moment, a crack appeared in my rage. My heart softened for just a second. And into that crack, a small voice whispered inside me. A voice I hadn't heard in years, but recognized instantly. It was my father's voice. Son, he once told me when I was young, any fool can shout in anger, but a wise man holds his tongue, because the words you speak in rage will haunt you far longer than the offense that sparked them. I froze. What was I about to do? Was I about to lose everything? My reputation, my business, my peace, over one foolish email? Over one man's attempt to hurt me? I stood up, walked away from the computer. And that, my friends, was the hardest thing I've ever done. Stay with me, because what happened next took me into a deeper understanding of patience, anger, and the divine wisdom that has guided humanity since the beginning of time. The same wisdom that even Jesus himself taught his followers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time, because the deeper we go into this story, the more powerful the lessons become. The night was long. I lay awake in my bed, my eyes fixed on the dark ceiling, my mind spinning like a hurricane. The rage hadn't vanished, no. It lingered beneath the surface, like an ember that refused to die out. But now it was mixed with something else. Doubt. Had I done the right thing by walking away from my computer? Or had I let him win? Suddenly, I remembered a passage from Matthew 5. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you. Those words had always sounded noble, idealistic. But now they felt personal. They felt like a test I was being forced to take, and I was failing. The next morning, as I walked into the office, the air was thick. Whispers followed me like shadows, eyes darted away as I passed. My business partner sat smugly at the end of the conference table, already surrounded by a few board members, acting as though he had single-handedly rescued the company from my supposed misconduct. I could feel my fists clench involuntarily. That's when the chairman of the board turned to me. His voice was calm, but there was an unmistakable edge to it. We've heard serious allegations against you, he said. Do you have a defense? And there it was again, the fire. My mouth dried, my pulse quickened. Every instinct screamed, attack! Destroy him before he destroys you. But somewhere inside, a stillness grew. A different voice spoke louder than the rage. A moment of patience in a moment of anger saves you 100 moments of regret. Instead of lashing out, I took a breath, then another, and finally I spoke. Before I defend myself, I said, my voice steady, I ask for one thing, truth. The room grew silent. I turned to my accuser and looked him straight in the eye. You and I both know where the real numbers are, and we both know who has manipulated them. I have nothing to hide. But before we move forward, I suggest we audit every single transaction for the past 2 years. Publicly, transparently. Let the facts speak louder than accusations. His face paled. The board exchanged glances. Some of them nodded. The chairman finally spoke. Agreed. And just like that, the storm shifted. Days turned into weeks as the audit unfolded. Documents were examined, every record, every transaction, every receipt, all laid bare. And slowly, the truth unraveled. He was the one who had embezzled funds. He had tried to frame me to cover his tracks, thinking that my anger would push me into reckless words and actions, words that could later be used to discredit me. But patience, patience became my shield. When the final report was presented, the board looked at me not with suspicion, but with respect. The chairman stood. "We owe you an apology," he said. "You acted with honor under fire. Your restraint may have saved this company." As they escorted my former partner out of the building in disgrace, I felt something unexpected. Not triumph, not vengeance, but peace. Because I had chosen patience, and patience had chosen victory. My friends, let me pause here for a moment and speak directly to you. You who are listening, who may one day face your own trial, your own test of fire, remember this. Anger is a weapon your enemy hopes you'll wield against yourself. If you've stayed with me this far, I urge you, subscribe to this channel, because these are not just stories. These are lessons that life burns into our souls. And there is more I need to share, more that could one day save you from yourself. Stay with me as we go even deeper, because the most surprising part of this story was still waiting for me, just around the corner. I thought the storm had passed, but life always has one more test prepared for those who dare walk the path of wisdom. A few weeks after my former partner was removed and the dust had settled, I received a letter. It wasn't from the board, nor from a lawyer. It was from him, the man who had tried to destroy me. I hesitated before opening it, my fingers brushing across the seal. Inside was a handwritten note. The words were short, shaky, and utterly unexpected. I was wrong. Blinded by greed, envy, and pride, I sought to ruin you to protect my own lies. But you chose patience over anger, mercy over vengeance. I've lost everything, but perhaps through your example I've gained something far greater. I'm truly sorry. I read the words again and again. In that moment I felt something I didn't expect. Compassion. Not because he deserved it, not because his apology erased the pain he caused, but because patience had allowed my heart to remain intact, untwisted by bitterness, unpoisoned by hate. You see, my friends, patience isn't weakness. It isn't passivity. It's the strongest armor a soul can wear. Anger is easy, instant. But patience, true patience, is violent restraint. It is a silent war within oneself. I remembered what Jesus once demonstrated so vividly. When mocked, spat upon, beaten, and finally crucified, he uttered not curses, but mercy. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. What kind of strength does it take to speak mercy in the face of injustice? That's what patience truly is. And when you understand this, you begin to see how many lives are ruined not by the blows of others, but by our own inability to control the fire within us. How many marriages have collapsed because one angry word led to another? How many careers have been destroyed because someone couldn't swallow their pride? How many friendships have shattered because rage drowned out reason? And every single time, it starts with a single moment, a single choice, to lash out or to breathe. That's why I'm here sharing this with you today, because one moment of patience in a moment of anger truly saves you 100 moments of regret. If I had responded that night as my rage demanded, I would not be here speaking to you today. My reputation would be gone, my career in ashes, my peace shattered. But patience saved me, and it can save you too. So the next time you feel your blood will remember my story. Remember the words of Christ. Remember the power you hold, not over others, but over yourself. Because true power isn't dominating others. True power is mastering yourself. Before we end, I invite you, no, I urge you, to subscribe to this channel. Not because I need numbers, but because I believe that somewhere in the near future you will face your own test. And in that moment, you may need to recall not my face, not my name, but this truth that saved me and can save you. Patience is power, patience is freedom, and patience is victory.